Welcome to Future Flex. I'm your host Marlia Chofor, and today I'm here with Rhea Dula and Carmen Barry. Now, you may be in year 10 and you might already know about the VCE Vocational Major, or maybe you're thinking about a VCE pathway. Either way, if you're interested in a career in health, you're definitely going to want to hear about what they have to say. So hey guys, welcome to Future Flex. How you going?
Good, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm really well, thank you. Nice to be here.
I'm so glad. So before we get into it, I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about what the VCE Vocational Major is. So you get to do classroom subjects as well as get some practical experience in a vocational industry. You also get to start working towards a vet certificate, which is really cool to start doing in high school.
That's really interesting.
I really love the sound of it, to give something that's an alternative to the traditional ways of doing VCE. It sounds like a really fantastic opportunity.
It truly is. It's a great pathway and another option. So let's get straight into it. I'd love to know about what you do.
So I'm the Director of Clinical Operations in Surgical Services at the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne.
Wow. What about you, Rhea?
I'm a primary health nurse and I've been in primary health nursing for, I think, 10 years now.
Oh my goodness. You both have been going so strong for so long. I'd love to know what a day in the life looks like. Do you want to start us off, Rhea?
Sure. For me, it varies from day to day. I do patient assessments, I administer medications, I do a lot of clinical procedures. And while I'm doing that, I also navigate challenging and very meaningful conversations with my patients. And I'm always on my feet every time. How about you, Carmen?
Yeah, so my day usually starts with a cycle into work, and that's followed by a lot of operational huddles just to see what the lay of the land is like in the hospital, make sure that we're okay for staffing, for access and flow. And then it'll be various other meetings that might be on quality and safety, on governance. Other aspects of my role would be meeting with my people leaders. I look after a couple of different teams, and that will all then finish at the end of the day with checking on theatres, making sure they're good for the next day, good to go, making sure our wards are all okay. And then I go on my bike and cycle home via the yoga or Pilates studio.
Wow, looks like you're always busy.
Yeah, it's a busy day and very rewarding. I love it.
The both of you so busy. Well, let's take it back. I'd love to know what high school is like for you. Can you talk a little bit about your high school experience?
Well, for me, I have a plethora of memories as a student. I can say, I guess I was a dedicated student. I always submit assessments on time. I'm pretty organized with everything. I'm just all over it. I also participated in school events and clubs. And before, I used to join like science clubs, dance clubs. Wow. I used to be a baton twirler too. Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like quite the ideal high school experience.
But of course, during my student life, I've also built strong connections and friendships along the way. How about you, Carmen?
Yeah, very similar, like built very strong connections with friends. I liked school. I did well at school. I enjoyed the subjects that I'd chosen. Could have done without exams. I didn't love exams. They're a little bit anxiety provoking. So certainly that's why the VM program would be something that would have appealed to me because I don't particularly like exams. I wasn't sort of sure what I wanted to do when I was 15 for sure. I changed my preferences a number of times. But yeah, I enjoyed the subjects that I did. It was a lovely experience. Really enjoyed it.
Well, I'd love to know more about your subjects and which ones you did that you feel like have really helped you in your career.
Yeah, when I was a student, I think the subjects that helped me the most are health-related subjects like biology, chemistry, and physics. It just prepares you for a lot of problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills, because being in healthcare, you will do a lot of decision-making. So that just helps you to prepare to be in the healthcare workforce.
For sure. Yeah, I think for me, subjects that I found that I loved and that helped me in my industry is, so biology was one that, in terms of anatomy and physiology was very helpful. Also psychology, so learning about human behaviour, not only to help look after my patients better, but also to mean that I can then work in sort of a multidisciplinary setting like I did my background was in theatre, so you're working with a number of different specialties looking after patients. So having that psychology background really helped as well. And also one that comes to mind is in religious studies, we learnt about mindfulness and meditation, and that's something that I still practice every day, and it really helps to ground me and balance me out. Certainly in the acute setting, you see some really challenging things from time to time, and being able to come back and be grounded in myself was, a really helpful subject to have learnt at a young age.
And that's really cool to hear, because as a Year 10 student, I know it can definitely feel daunting picking what subjects you're going to continue for the rest of schooling, but to hear that such a wide variety of subjects can help you if you want to get into the industry of health is really, really cool to hear. So I'd love to know what the best part about your job is and something you could probably live without.
Ooh. Well, for me, definitely it's inspiring others. It's touching other people's lives. It's knowing that you are in room that matters. May it be just solving a medical puzzle or just simply trying to calm someone down that's a bit anxious, or just trying to give the right information to someone who's trying to, make that tough decision. It's those moments that I feel like, I'm doing this fulfilling job.
And that's so true. I think what I would say about the favourite part about my job, or I would probably expand that into say my career, is just the variety I've been able to have. I've travelled, so one of the reasons I did nursing was to be able to go and work overseas, and I spent some time overseas working. And so if you want to be, at the bedside through to the CEO of a hospital or whatever that might look like, nursing can give you that opportunity. Even moving into other industries, construction, whatever it might be, it gives you really that great platform from which to then, bounce off. In terms of what I would could do without, I think for me, and I hope this answer hits the mark, I love what I do, and because the mission statement for where I work at the moment is a world where every child thrives. So I know that every part of my job is moving towards that, or helping every child to thrive. So there's nothing that I don't like doing, because I know it's serving such a great purpose of helping kids to thrive.
That is so beautiful. That really is beautiful. And talking about all these amazing qualities, do you feel like there's a specific skill or superpower that someone would need to succeed in the industry of health?
Well, I don't think you need to have a superpower. As what we've mentioned, you only need to have the heart to serve. But of course, you have to have clinical skills and knowledge, and of course, this problem-solving skills and critical thinking skills, because that will prepare you for being in healthcare to start straight into the workforce.
Yeah, I think for me, superpowers I can think of, resilience, obviously. When you're working in certain settings in healthcare, you're going to be faced with some challenging situations. So resilience is something that's really important. I think too, when thinking about that question, empathy comes up for me. So the ability to feel with people rather than for people, it really helps you to then connect with not only your patients, your colleagues. It helps you to, I guess, in our industry, people just want to be heard. They want to be validated. So if you can feel with people and really connect with them in that way, it's you get a whole lot of satisfaction out of what you do.
And that sounds very rewarding. And Rhea, you were talking about, those clinical skills, and that is something that's really great about the VCE Vocational Major. You can learn those work-related specific skills while you're still in school, which is really helpful. So for young people interested in becoming a nurse, would you think that the vocational major is a good option for them?
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly the diploma of nursing, so enrolled nursing, that's an area that you could go into from the VCE VM, and you can work as an enrolled nurse in many different aspects of healthcare. Certainly in my background, I worked with a lot of enrolled nurses in theatre. So if that was something that you were keen to try, you most certainly could. So I think, is it the same in primary healthcare?
It's the same with primary health. There are a lot of enrolled nurses as well doing primary health nursing.
Mm-hmm. And then too, if you want to go on further and do your degree, become an RN, it gives that pathway as well. So it certainly opens up many doors depending on what you want to do in healthcare and nursing.
It's really awesome to have all those options.
Absolutely, for sure.
So last question, if you could go back to when you were 15, is there any advice that you'd give yourself to help get to where you are today?
Focus on your education first. Know your interests, work on your passion, and probably talk to someone who's already in the profession, or do volunteering in hospitals or aged care industries. Be out there in the community. At least by that particular experience, you'll be able to witness the commitment and how these healthcare professionals provide direct patient care.
For sure. I think what I would add to that is, as a 15-year-old, if you're thinking about getting into the industry, think about what you like doing. If you have a passion for helping others, for serving other people, for helping people to thrive, it's the industry for you. It will work itself out. If you come from a good place, you've got a good heart. Yeah, there are so many different things that you can do within the healthcare industry. It's just you've got to have that passion for wanting to help others.
That's really amazing advice, not just to your younger selves, but also to all people, no matter what career they're looking into. But I lied, I actually have one last question now. So take a look at this really gorgeous room we're in and pick out one decoration that's your favourite and tell me why.
I think I'd pick the skeleton.
Yeah.
Because it's about the human body. Just relates to healthcare as a whole.
Pretty cool person.
Yeah.
I think I like the sugar and flour just because I like food, and I like the roosters on the front. They look pretty fun. Yeah.
It's a popular one.
Is it? Okay.
If you want to find your passion and turn it into a career, search VCE VM. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Future Flex.